Boom shakalaka. Okay. Oh, I should have waited. First we're gonna introduce Jess and Seymour because I don't think either of you have been on our team call, and we've introduced you yet. So go ahead and just quickly share with the team like who you are, where you're from, why you're excited about coaching. Go ahead, Jess.
So I live in Southern California, and I heard about coaching from you and Instagram, and my husband and I have been doing it we just finished our second week, and he's already like dropping a bunch of weight and gaining muscle, which makes me super jealous. But yeah, so I just became a coach yesterday. So I'm new to this. So yeah.
I'm convinced it always happens faster for men. It is super obnoxious.
Oh yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Welcome, Jess. And Seymour, have you introduced yourself? Am I losing my mind?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I talk to people in our group, but I don't think I've introduced here. So I'm Seymour. Some people call me C. I'm super new. Like, I signed up as a coach, but I didn't really start. Well, honestly, so Callie kind of shared this in one of the groups, but I got really into this because I kept seeing Callie's videos, and she was so great and kept reaching out to me even though I kept dodging her sometimes. She was just so persistent, and I finally was like, you know what, like I can see the change and like all the positiveness that's like coming out of what she's posting, and I can feel it, and I want to try it, and maybe I can like even coach. Like, I'll see what comes from it. So I actually recently just told my friend about it. She was like, you never work out, girl. Like, what are you doing? Like, you're actually committing to a workout right now. What is going on? And I was like, yeah, like this is the first time I've actually worked out like since like high school, honestly, y'all. It's crazy. And so I connected her, gave her a link, and I just got a check yesterday out of nowhere. And Henri was like, are you getting paid for working out? I was like, no, not yet. Like, I haven't really done anything yet. And I like checked with my friend. She's like, yeah, girl, I got the program. Like, this is so cool. But so I guess like I kind of got thrown into it without knowing. But so here I am.
You're
learning.
a coach.
Yeah, right.
Oh my gosh, I love it so much. Welcome. So glad you're on this call. So tonight I wanted to share a little bit about, we haven't done this one in a while. So I wanted to share about how to share about coaching and how to invite to coaching. So we'll talk a little bit about sharing on social media and a little bit about actually sending invites for coaching, because I know this is like one of the scariest things, at least for me, especially in the beginning. But it is also super important to growing your team and growing your income ultimately. So we need to be doing that. And honestly, as scary as it feels, it doesn't have to be super scary and weird. So that's what I want to share with you guys tonight. Feel free to type your questions in the chat and like ask anything. I want this to be kind of an open conversation. So sharing on social media, I have a couple different tips. This might be a good time to take out a pen and paper if you want to take notes on this one. So I have a couple different things that I do. I don't consider myself an expert at this by any means. So I'm sure there's other coaches who are doing this better than I am. I'm just going to share kind of things that I've learned have helped me, and I'm trying to do better as well. So first and foremost, sharing the daily tidbits are so important and so much easier than like the big scary stuff, right? So sharing like, and this is one of the big things that I changed. I had mentioned this a couple of weeks ago on a call back in March. And so I try my best to share once a day, because so often I feel like we can sit down to like work, or we'll start sending messages and we don't really feel like we're sitting down to work because we're just like quickly responding to things. And we don't actually like document on Instagram that we're doing it, but we're working, right? I used to do this all the time where like I would work for hours during Carson's nap and like totally forget to say I was working. And not that everybody needs to know every second of my life, but if you're never sharing that you're working, people just don't know when you are. And if you're trying to portray this as a job and the hard work that you're putting into it, when you're sharing the rest of your life on social, you've kind of got to include that. So it doesn't have to be this big elaborate thing. I try my best once a day now to take a picture of like my laptop or my notebook or my to-do list or just something and say like, working while the baby naps or sitting down to work or whatever. And it's not something like super in your face, but it plants a seed every single time somebody sees it that I work every day. Like, and this is how we find the people who also want to work, because that is super important in growing your team, is finding the coaches who, I mean, gosh, we love the coaches who just want the discount, and we love the coaches who are just there for the hobby coaching. And like, if you're just here because you want to sign up some friends, like Simar was talking about, like that, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to build a business out of this, you need to find other people who also want to make it a business. And you're going to find the workers by showing that you work. Because if you don't show you work, then the people who are ready to hustle are not going to want to join you, to put it plain and simple. People who want to hustle want to see other hustlers. And so I try to do that every single day. So I would challenge you guys to do that this week or next week, like, and maybe not, if you're not comfortable with every day, like every other day, but just sharing, like, you know, at some point in your day that you're sitting down and getting some work done for your side gig or for whatever, for coaching, like, just to kind of clarify that you do something in addition to your current job, or whatever it is that you're doing in life. Some of us are just staying home. This shows that you are committed as well. So this is helpful for recruiting coaches, but it also is so helpful for your challengers to see that you are committed to them and you're committed to sitting down and showing up for them every day. And so this is important on all fronts. It's going to really improve your credibility as somebody who somebody wants to sign up as even a client with, because they're seeing, oh, wow, that person shows up for her people every day. So even if they're not interested in coaching, it might actually spur somebody into joining your group. So sharing a daily tidbit doesn't have to be elaborate. Next is sharing the subtle financial victories. So Simar, you just got a paycheck out of nowhere. Like, if you can casually share that in your story, how fun would that be? And it doesn't have to be something like, hey guys, look, I got this paycheck for coaching and this is what I do. Like, it does not have to be this like big scary thing. Literally, you could take a paycheck and be like, oh my gosh, so fun, just got my first paycheck from coaching. Or maybe your paycheck covered groceries this week. So you could take a picture of your grocery receipt and be like, so awesome that this was covered by helping people get healthy this week. Or if it covered your gas, like literally take a picture at the gas pump and be like, didn't have to come out of my bank, my own personal bank, or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be this like big post, and it can be like, those ones are good too. I'm not saying like elaborate things are bad. I'm just saying to help you get over like the scariness of it, just make it simple, keep it simple and keep it very like light. And the more often that you put those things as little breadcrumbs in your story, it's going to catch people's attention. And how fun for them to watch it grow. Like, how fun for them to see your, you know, first $15 paycheck that's covering your coffee, like your fun coffee money that month, and then seeing that grow to like covering groceries or covering gas or covering a bill. And so not only are your followers going to start paying attention, but they're going to watch you grow, and that is really going to catch a fire in your business. So starting even with the small things, I think that one of the biggest fears that we have as coaches, I don't want to speak for everyone, but like, I know I had this before I was really like making any money to talk about. And like, honestly, like my paycheck compared to some still isn't something to write home about. Right. So like, I feel like we're constantly comparing to other people and thinking like, oh man, like I can't share yet. That's silly. Like, people are going to think that's not enough. I mean, you have no idea how much somebody might need fun coffee money. Maybe her and her husband are on a really tight budget, and $15 a week is going to make her have that relaxing, you know, a couple times a week she gets to go, especially in quarantine, she gets to go for a drive with her kids and pick up a coffee and not sweat over it. Like, $15 a week can be a huge deal to some people. And so like, don't ever, ever, ever undermine your small things, because you never know how they can impact somebody else's life. So share all of it and don't ever make yourself small. This also makes you super relatable in that way, because people are going to be like, oh man, like she just wants to make a little extra money to go get her nails done. Like, me too. Okay. Next is sharing like the public invites, the call to actions. I think these are the ones that are a little bit scarier, even for me still. So I'm going to say a couple things. I'm not going to go all the way into social media, and I'm thinking maybe we'll do an actual social media training soon. But the important part about sharing call to actions and public invites is that when we're sharing these things on our stories and our posts, we're mixing them in with other life things. We are not just Beachbody coaches. We are teachers and dog moms and military wives and moms and new wives and all of these things. Like, we have all sorts of different components to our life. We need to share about all of it. And so don't just share about Beachbody, because people are going to tune you out so fast if you become that person that only shares about Beachbody stuff. You need to share about the things that are relatable to their life, because probably currently they're not doing Beachbody. So they're not interested in that right away. You want to make them interested in you, so that then they're like, oh wait, what's she doing? Okay, so dialing it back with the public invites that are being sprinkled in amongst other life things. This can be either in your stories or in your post. So what I tend to do is I tend to do them in my stories surrounding a coach webinar or sneak peek. So I don't do a public invite to coaching all the time. I pretty much tend to do it in my stories when it's about to be a sneak peek or a webinar. That's my choice, but you can literally do it whenever. But we've been trying to do those every 2 weeks or so that there is an option pretty often to have that invite going. And so what I normally do is I say, like, you know, so excited, prepping for this call that we've got. This is how coaching has changed my life. And if you're interested in this, if you love these things, come join us. I'm sure you've all seen them before. So I try to do that a couple times a month. And then on the off weeks, I try to incorporate coaching posts into my social media. There are people that are going to tell you need to talk about coaching in your post every day or every other day. I don't think that that's bad advice for some people. I just don't do that. Like, I find sharing about a little bit in my story every day is what works well for me. But like I always say in this business, try everything. Try what works for you, and see what happens. So you can share it in your story or in your post. I usually, like I said, share in my story why I love it, how it's changed my life, and then sort of just do a casual, if you want to join us, no commitment, I'll send you the link to the webinar. And you guys could even do this week and just say, we actually had a call, a couple days ago, and I'd love to send you the link. So you don't have to do it surrounding a live event. We have the recording so that you can send it at any time and they'll get just the same amount of information. Right. So the next thing would be just sharing it on your post. I usually like to surround it with a story. So I usually will share some sort of story about where I was before coaching, and then bring it back to where I am now, and then do kind of a call to action at the end. And a call to action usually looks like saying, if you're interested in this, let me know, blah, blah, blah. I honestly don't do a ton of call to actions because nobody responds to them, but they plant a seed. So it at least lets them know there's an open door, even if nobody's actually responding. People are going to take note when this is shared consistently. If you are only sharing this every once in a while, or you're not living it out, or et cetera, people aren't really going to pay attention. There are 1,000,001 MLMs out there. There are 1,000,001 people doing them. And so you really have to stand apart from the other Beachbody coaches and the other MLM people and show that you are a relatable person who wants to help others genuinely and wants to do life with them. And so when you are sharing that in your social media and then inviting people to coaching to join you, it fits naturally and people are going to take notice. But it has to be consistent and it has to be relatable. So I just want you guys to be thinking about that as you're writing posts or sharing things in your stories. Am I sharing things to show people who I am as a person, or am I just blasting Beachbody to the world? Because people don't need another Beachbody ad. They need to see that this is relatable and something that is attainable and possible for them. And whoever them is your target market. And so that's who you need to be speaking to. And yeah, it's really fun when people get to watch you grow. Mo has told me multiple times, like, I've been watching you for like a year and I jumped in because I saw you growing. And like, I love that. I love that she's honest about that. And it's just like, yeah, I saw the growth and I saw the potential and then I wanted in. And so like Seemar, I think, was one of the first people I ever invited to join me, and she joined me last month. So like, you guys hang in there. People come around. So, okay. Before I move on, any questions about social media, sharing, et cetera, before I move on to like public inviting? Or I'm sorry, private inviting.
Can I ask, or do I have to type it?
No, you can ask.
So I know when I was signing up, I saw like the terms and conditions, and it talked about how like you have to say or like disclose that it's not like results may vary, or you have like, what are like, I kind of get that, but also like, do you have to do that for everything, or?
So, yeah. If you're posting like an income progression, you have to post the full disclaimer. So I don't know if you've seen like income progressions, but if you're sharing something that tells somebody they're going to make X amount of money, first of all, you can't do that. But the income disclaimer is there to protect you. So if you ever feel like maybe I should put the income disclaimer, you probably should. Because anybody can report you to compliance for that. And if you're reported, like your whole account can go into review and you can get in trouble. So they would just cancel your account, but that would be sad. So it's probably not going to happen to you, but I'm just saying, like, there are people out there who are against MLMs and are looking to report them. And so that is why you have to put the income disclaimer. It's probably not for your average Joe who's reading your post. It's for the person who's looking for a problem and wants to report you. So yeah, if it's at all talking about income, it needs to have the disclaimer. If you're simply talking about how coaching has changed your life, you don't need to use the income disclaimer. But if you say this paid for my groceries, you should probably use the income disclaimer. I usually in my stories will just kind of throw a little asterisk and say like, this isn't guaranteed, you have to work for it. Like, I don't put like the whole disclaimer. I have put the whole disclaimer in my post before though. I hope that helps. I know that was still kind of like shaky. If you ever have a question, shoot it to me and I'll look it over. That was a really good question. Anybody else? CNC, my heart. Hi, Christopher. Okay, so I'm gonna go, and if you have any questions, like type them in the chat, but I'm gonna dive into like inviting one-on-one with people. So let's kind of clarify how we can invite people and the different options for coaching. First of all, there's only one way to sign up as a coach. So I'm going to go over 3 options, but there's only one way to sign up, like logistically. You sign up the same way you guys signed up. However, some people sign up just for the discount, because if you sign up for 25% off and you pay the $16 a month fee, you still save $15 a month. So if you have somebody who is buying Shakeology every month or almost every month, that would be a good person to reach out to and say, hey, like, I've noticed you're really loving the Shakeology. That is so fun. I would love to get you set up with a discount. And then if they say yes, I usually kind of go over the whole like, okay, so basically you'll be signing up for the coach discount. It'll cost you $16 a month, but you'll save the 25% on all products. And then I say, like, you can cancel at any time. Like, you're not locked into anything and you don't have to sell anything. So that's one way to sign up for the discount, is with your current people who are already purchasing. Another way to sign up for the discount is simply to offer it at checkout. So to say, like, here's the bundle, here's the products. Do you think you'll drink? I usually say, do you think you'll order the products monthly? And then I'll say, okay, like last thing, you can sign up for this discount, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And people are pretty like, it goes both ways, I would say. Like there are some people who are like, nope, like not interested in that right now, or maybe next month, like maybe let me try it first. And that's totally fine. I say, yeah, no problem. Sign up as a customer. And there are some who are like, yeah, sign me up right away. I really see myself using these products and I'd rather get the best deal on them. So don't ever count anybody out as a no, because you never know like what they're gonna say. They could say yes. I've had people say yes to me that like I never thought would say yes to me before. And I have shared that script in our team page before. So like that, what I usually say is in our team page. That's for discount coaching. Hobby coaching would be if they're like, I'm not really looking to like replace my full-time job or like make anything close to a full-time job. I literally just want to be able to, sell to my friends and family and get a paycheck if they're interested. And I have had multiple people who literally are just like, they'll say, oh, my friend wants to join our group, and they'll send me their info. And I'm like, are you sure you don't want to sign up as a coach and sign them up? Because you're going to get a $50 paycheck for it. And so that's one way to go about the hobby coaching. And if they're already loving the product and they're planning on selling to like friends or family, that's a great option. So it doesn't have to have this pressure of like, you have to work every day and you have to build this business. It kind of takes the pressure off of it for them and makes it fun. I will say, like, Young Living does a really good job of this. They sign everybody up with their starter kit, and then they tell them, they're like, if you have a friend order a starter kit through you, they're going to send you a $50 thank you check. And like, that's what they call it, is a $50 thank you check. And so like, I think looking at it in that way is really helpful for people who don't want the pressure of working a business or like doing all of the things. And I just tell those people, like, you can add your people to my challenge group. And if you ever change your mind and want to work full time, like, you can start your own. So that kind of just takes all the pressure off. I don't mind them being in my challenge group because like, you're still benefiting from your coaches signing friends up as well. So it doesn't like bother me. Next would be a business builder. And that's somebody who is saying, no, like, I want to buy my groceries every week and eventually pay my bills with this. And, maybe I want to have a part-time or a full-time job. I will say this is where the income disclaimer is huge. You guys can never, ever tell somebody that they are going to make money in this business, because we don't know. We don't know their work ethic. We don't know who they're going to talk to, etc. And so we have no idea what their income is going to look like in this business. So you can't say, oh yeah, in like 2 years, you'll be where I'm at. You don't know that. But what I always say to people is, listen, this business is hard, because it is. I never, ever let someone think this is like a fun, like, oh, it's super duper easy, you guys. We just sit on a couch with our phone and invite some peeps and it's all fun. Like, this business is hard, right? I love this business. I have a like bursting heart for this business, and I am all about it and think that it changes lives every day. But I am very clear up front, like, this is hard work. You got to put the time in, you have to invest. But if you do, like, those financial results are more than likely going to come for you. But it's going to take time and it's going to take effort, and it's going to take you just having to be patient. So that is the way, like, I would really encourage you guys to describe that to other coaches, because you don't ever want somebody to come into this thinking they're going to build a business by barely doing anything and then be really disappointed. So if it's like somebody who literally just wants the discount and wants to sign up friends, I usually handle that a little differently than someone who tells me they want to build an actual business. Okay, that is going over how, like, the different types of coaching. And I want you guys to keep those in mind, because that really opens up our, like, who we can be inviting to coaching, right? Instead of thinking that this person has to love and, live, sleep, breathe this business. Okay, who can we invite then? First of all, friends and family. If it's like, whether that be like your parents or your siblings or your best friend or whatever it is, if they're signing up with a challenge pack, like, I've had people sign up with a challenge pack before, and when I'm pushing for a goal, I'm like, dude, you're signing up for a challenge pack anyways, so it's free to sign up for as a coach. Do you want to sign up just for a month? And if you're not interested in coaching after that, you can totally cancel, but that will help me hit my next goal until I find somebody else. There is nothing wrong with that. Like my brother literally did that last month so that we could go 1-star. And so, yeah, so he was already planning on buying a challenge pack. He was really excited about 10 rounds. And so he was like, I'm going to get the bundle. And so he signed up. So you guys, seriously, like be thinking about that, be creative with how to hit your next rank goals. And then in the meantime, you'll be inviting other people to it just kind of holds a spot, if that makes sense. Or maybe they want the discount and maybe they'll stay on it. I know I have multiple coach friends whose parents have signed up with Shakeology for just a month and ended up continuing to purchase it because they loved it. So don't count someone out because you think they won't love it. It might change their life too. So friends and family, and I will say like challengers, like the people who are doing what you're doing and doing life with you and loving it, those are the people who are going to make amazing coaches because they understand and believe in the product and they want other people to know about it too. It's just one of those things where like when you are doing something that has totally changed your outlook on things or your habits, your daily life, like being in a challenge group and using the Beachbody On Demand programs literally changed my season of grieving for me. Like, and I tell that to people all the time. And that is why I am so passionate about sitting here and running this business, because I just believe that it can make a huge difference in someone's life. And a lot of people think it takes hours and hours a day to get the results and the like joy that I'm experiencing, and it doesn't. It takes 30 minutes a day and like 2 hours of meal prep each week. So I just want everybody to know about that and how I've become such a different person and such a more disciplined person. Like Seymour was on the volleyball team with me in high school. Like I was not this person in high school. so was Rachel. And that's actually really fun that we're all on here right now. So challengers who love the products are your best people for inviting to coaching because you already vibe well with them. They're in your challenge group. They're already getting their own results and probably already sharing that with other people. And who doesn't want to make an extra paycheck from that? So inviting people who are already loving it is your really best bet. So I'm going to go over a couple of things to note with that. This is why challenge groups and pouring into your challenge groups are so incredibly important. If you are popping people into a Facebook group and checking in once a day and scheduling a post out 2 weeks in advance and not caring what you're saying and not really pouring into the people that are in your group, you are not going to create an environment that is conducive to joy and excitement and let's do this. You need to be in your group, you guys. I'm not saying be obsessively on your Facebook all day, every day. But I really strongly recommend you check in twice a day. I really recommend that you're checking in with people, around lunchtime and at night so that you're not missing people and letting people fall through the cracks. Because I'll tell you, like on days that Julie took extra long to comment on my post, like way back when I was in her challenge group, I felt that like lack of energy. Like I used to get so excited when people would comment on my posts and cheer me on because I was like, oh yeah, I'm doing it. And like, I loved doing that for other people. And so you guys, like we need to do a serious gut check. Are we pouring into our challenge groups and being excited for them? And I don't mean going on and commenting, yay, good job, awesome, you did good. Like you need to be engaging with people. Now, there are some people that maybe it's hard to engage with their posts, and that's okay. It is what it is. But there are some people who are pouring their heart out to you. If they're pouring their heart out to you, read it and comment on it and actually engage with them. And sometimes that's really hard, you guys. I've been with a toddler all day. I've been working all day. I've been cleaning my house all day, and it's 9 p.m. and all I want to do is go to bed. And I have 150 girls to check in with. And I'm tired. And you know what? I have to say, this is what I signed up for. And I love them. And I promised them I would be there for them. And I sit down, I say, okay, I'm going to sit down for 30 minutes and I'm going to do this. And I do it and I check in on every post. And there are times I have to gut check myself and say, you're just going through the motions, Callie. You need to be reading these posts and pouring into these people better. And I go back and I do that. And so this is like, I'm going to harp on this for a hot minute because it is so important. Hey, Katie. It is so important, you guys, for you to be pouring into your challenge groups, because if you're not seeing your business flourish and you're not finding joy in your business, my guess is it's starting in your challenge group. And that's probably, if you're struggling with engagement in your challenge group, that's probably why. People can read through your posts and read through your comments and know that you just don't really care that much. Or maybe you're not putting that much effort in, not that you don't care. So your challenge group is the bread and butter and the backbone of your business. You need to be running one, you need to be pouring into it, and you need to be constantly adding new people to it, because not everybody is going to be a rock star in a challenge group, and not everybody is going to thrive in a challenge group. That's not your fault. That's not your problem. But that's why we have to be constantly adding new people, because new people get excited. And when people get excited, other people feel that excitement. And that creates this community of people who are excited to do this together. But that only happens when we're constantly adding people to our challenge group, engaging them with the group. I introduce every single person that I add to my group to our whole group and encouraging them to do that. That might be checking in on them one-on-one. That might be going live in your group and giving a little pep talk. Whatever that looks like, it is on you to be getting your group bumping. And if you're like, I've tried everything and nobody's talking, you need to add new people to your group then. Get to it, sell some bundles, sell some 3-month packages, get people in your group because you need new blood. And that is like I'll get off my, what is it called? You know what I'm talking about. Okay, so next, this is why challenge packs are so important. So let me be clear here. I signed up with a 3-month. I believe your life can be changed simply by being in an accountability group, following the containers or 2B, and doing the workouts. I love the supplements. I believe in the supplements, and I back the supplements. I don't like ride or die the supplements with my customers. If somebody tells me that's going to put them in the hole, I'm not worried about it. I don't think you need Shakeology to be healthy. So I don't like harp on the supplements if somebody genuinely doesn't have the money, but I do believe in them. And there's a balance there, right? And so I think finding that balance is really important. I think if we're like, no, I agree, the supplements are totally too expensive, you shouldn't buy them. Okay, guys, nobody's going to buy them from me then. But if you're like, you absolutely have to have Shakeology or you're never going to reach your goals. Well, not really true. So we have to find that balance of believing in what we sell, but also having grace that like, it's not for everybody's bank account. And that doesn't mean we can't help them get healthy. So we've got to find the balance between the two. However, if somebody is signing up one time, that's why I never require somebody to purchase the product a second time, but I really push the challenge pack in the beginning so that they can at least try it. And because it's such an incredible deal, especially this month, you guys, challenge packs are $140. They're getting product and a shaker cup for $40. People buy shaker cups for $12, you guys. They're literally getting product for $28. Literally. So just know that like, especially this month, like take advantage of it. But honestly, even the 160 bundle is such a good deal for people. So that's why I try to tell them like, look, no worries if you can't purchase this every month, but you might as well snag it now because it's going to be a great deal up front and you don't get that deal later on because you don't. I mean, you could always buy a challenge pack later on, but you don't get, like if you buy a 1 year of on demand, like you don't get the Shakeology for cheaper later on, is my point. Oh, deep breath, Callie. Okay, so we are like coming close to having no time left. Crap. Okay, so, and this is why pouring into people is important. I already went over that. My sample invites are posted in the documents section in our team page. So if you go to Team Title Joy and go to our is it documents or something tab? Oh, perfect, Noelle. Thank you. So they should pop right up when you go into Team Title Joy because she bumped them. So that's what I use for like my sample invites. Don't just copy and paste those, like change them to sound like you. But that might help you not word vomit on people to at least look at like what I send. Okay. any questions, I think I'm going to just end there. Oh, real quick, people I'm inviting off of my followers that aren't in my challenge group and aren't friends and family, I sometimes will invite just straight off of a post. If I post a very intentional coaching post and I notice somebody is actively engaging in those posts frequently, I will just kind of send them a message to invite them straight to coaching. I don't do it often, but I do sometimes do it, and it has worked before. So be open to the fact that, like, oh, they're watching me and they're following me, and we might not talk a lot, but like they're paying attention to what I'm doing. Maybe they want to come to this webinar. So just wanted to add that tidbit in. I feel like that was a lot of information. Feel free to watch this back and retake notes. Feel free to ask me any questions or post questions in the team page if you have them. But real quick before we run out of time, does anybody have any pressing questions? Okay. So I hope you guys don't feel like I'm like harping at you every week. I just get really passionate about what we do. But honestly, and I hope it doesn't sound like we're saying the same things every week, but it's just this business is really simple and all it is consistency of the same things. And so that's why kind of every topic ends up coming back down to like the backbone of the business, which is our people. So if you love people well in this business, you will do well. Okay, let's take a boomerang. And if you have any questions, like if you think about it at 10 o'clock at night and you're like, wait, I didn't ask that, just post in the team page. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, cute. Love you girls. Hope you have a good night. I'm gonna talk to you later.